Welcome to an evening of sharing and caring featuring Billy Dean and Dawn. I'm Todd Wilcock, a trustee and president of the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation. Tonight you're in for a great time with music mixed with videos from many of our charity's clients. You'll see how your donations have helped those less fortunate than we are. Your support through the years has been fantastic. Just last year, thanks to you and your friends, we were able to designate close to $1 million to help our 10 charities and provide scholarships to 6 deserving young people. In a typical year, we would be gathering together in person, dancing, having a great meal as we supported our charities. But this pandemic has changed all that. Masks and social distancing are the norm. Our charities have struggled, and their clients have struggled even more. So tonight, we are asking you to dig deep into your pockets and help us bring hope to all the people we serve. You can visit our website and click the donate button, or you can send us a check. Just please look into your hearts and help us help our neighbors in need. Okay, now it's time to get this great evening started. Enjoy the show. Here's your MC, Tim McAuliffe.
Good evening, and welcome to Shadowwood Charitable Foundation's Sharing and Caring virtual concert. Tonight's program features Billy Dean and Dawn providing an outstanding musical performance in a beautiful setting. Also, in order to connect you, our generous supporters, with those whose lives you've impacted, we have videos of them and 2 scholarship recipients telling their stories. I hope and believe these videos will make you realize how much your involvement and financial support are improving the lives of so many people each and every day. And now, without further ado, here's the fabulous duo of Billy Dean and Dawn.
Well, good evening, Shadowwood. Thank you so very much for having us. You're walking along the street, or you're at a party, or else you're alone and then you suddenly dig. You're looking in someone's eyes, you suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big. You're lunching at 21 and watching your diet, declining a Charlotte ruse, accepting a fig. When out of the clear blue sky, it's suddenly gal and guy, and this could be the start of something big. There's no controlling the unrolling of your fate, my friend. Who knows what's written in that magic book? But when a lover you discover at the gate, my friend, invite him in without a second look. You're up in an aeroplane, or dining at Sardi's, or lying at Malibu, alone on the sand. You suddenly hear a bell, and right away you can tell that this could be the start of something grand. This could be the start of something wonderful. Why don't you play your part? Please give your heart to me and see. This could be the start of something wonderful. Why don't you take a chance? Just try romance with me and see. You're watching the sun come up and counting your money, or else in a dim cafe you're ordering wine. Then suddenly there he is. You want to be where he is. And this must be the start of something. This could be the heart of something. This could be the start of something big. Well, good evening, Shadowwood. Well, I don't know, Corona has absolutely done a number on all of us, but I'm kind of liking this setting here tonight. Absolutely amazing. We're all doing something differently, so I don't know how many of y'all have seen us. Normally we do our dinner dances here, but this is our very first virtual concert, and we are delighted to be here. The repertoire for this evening is a little bit different. You are welcome to dance, but mostly it is our concert repertoire. And we have everything that's hopefully inspirational, to little opera, to Broadway, to Michael Bublé. And that's this next song. And I am so grateful that Michael Bublé brought this back into style, because I personally think that this song, well, I think the lyrics were written just for me. It's from The Roar of the Grease Paint, The Smell of the Crowd, called Feeling Good. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. So good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know it? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. When you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good, so good, so good.
Thanksgiving evokes memories of family and happy times. And that holiday feeling is made possible by feeding the 5,000. So listen to Lori in this video to learn how your donation made her Thanksgiving special again.
Hi, my name is Lori Van Wagner, and I've been lucky to receive Thanksgiving dinner from Feeding the 5,000. My sister and I live together. We're two single little old ladies, and we don't have any family here. And we didn't really have any family feeling about it. But somebody at church suggested that I ask for Feeding the 5,000 if they would give my sister and I Thanksgiving dinner. And we opened it up, and it had turkey and dressing and gravy and everything you want in a Thanksgiving dinner. But because of Shadowwood and what they do with donating to Feeding the 5,000, we're part of that, and we're able to have a family dinner, my sister and I.
This is a wonderful charity that supports and advocates for foster children. Watch how they help make these kids be prepared for going back to school.
So we are here, the Guardian Ad Litem Foundation, this morning. We've partnered with the Lee County Sheriff's Office for our Back to School with the Blue event. This event was generously funded by the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation and has allowed us to get foster children in our communities backpacks, school supplies, and a gift card to buy some new uniforms or back to school clothes so they can start the year off on the right foot.
We know the Guardian Ad Litem program is one of many youth programs that the Sheriff's Office assists on a yearly basis. We're out here today. We're issuing backpacks through the crew unit within the Lee County Sheriff's Office. Every person that drives through simply gets a free backpack.
We're delighted to be here partnering with local law enforcement to pass out backpacks and supplies to kids that might not otherwise have access to them. We know this will help them in school and help them get ahead in life, and we're just really delighted to be here today.
We've all heard of the adage, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. This next video embodies how Habitat helps a homeless veteran achieve home ownership and a better life.
Prior to Habitat, I was on the HUD-VASH program. I was on a program that was restricted to veterans, but it's still a Section 8. Every veteran, soldier, once you step away from the military, you should be able to have a home. A home puts anybody back to where they want to be. In all actuality, I wouldn't mind being homeless, being that if I was by myself, but I took on a responsibility, it wouldn't warrant me to be in a situation out on the streets. I think if a lot of homeowners went through Habitat way of thinking, I think a lot of people would keep their homes longer. Affordability can help people survive better. You don't have to be a millionaire to afford a home. If you're in a community where everybody owns their home, everybody feels like millionaires, and what's wrong with that? I think it was one of the best moves that I could think I made for these children. They give you the motivations. The Habitat staff does give you the motivation to keep going on and trying to achieve home ownership.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, like dreamers do, fate is kind. She brings to those who love in the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come Appreciate that. What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old John. Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow your horn, start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. What good's permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away? Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. I used to have a girlfriend known as Elsie, with whom I shared 4 sordid rooms in Chelsea. She wasn't what you'd call a blushing flower. As a matter of fact, she rented by the hour. The day she died, the neighbors came to snicker. Well, that's what comes from too much pills and liquor. But when I saw her laid out like a queen, she was the happiest corpse I'd ever seen. I think of Elsie to this very day. I remember how she turned to me and said, what good is sitting alone in your room? Come, hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret And as for me, I made my mind up back in Chelsea. When I go, I'm going like Elsie. Start by admitting, from cradle to tomb, it isn't that long a stay. Life is a cabaret, old chum, only a cabaret, old chum, and I love a
This is a wonderful story about how the charity, thanks to your donation, helped Mitch in his time of need, and he later paid it forward.
My name is Mitch. I have been coming here for about 5 years to Interfaith Charities. I came here because I needed help. I had just retired. Social Security wasn't going to kick in for quite a while. My youngest daughter was released from the military, and her and her husband come to live with me. So now I had more people to support and no money to support them with. And here at Interfaith, they were kind enough to get me set up. I was able to come weekly. They hooked me up with a cell phone even. They had someone here so I could stay in contact with everyone. Eventually, I was so enamored by the people here that I became a volunteer. And it's one of the things I look forward to more than anything. And I just wanted to put a shout out or a thank you to Healthy Foods at Shadowwoods for all the produce that we get here. I'm a big veggie nut, and I don't know what we would do without them.
A life can often be changed in a profound way by just a single event. Here's how the Literacy Council changed Garcella's life. If you turn up the volume, it'll be easier to follow.
My name is Garcella Godinez. I am from Guatemala. I came here in 2008. One day I come in a store close the street in here, close to the school, and the people ask me, hey, you not speak Spanish? I say, no, why you not calling school? One day they say, oh, we know one school in front, across the street here. You can go, you can talk with the guys. Maybe they can give you an opportunity. But like right now, I know more English thanks this school, and that's why I have more opportunity to work too. This school, it's changed my whole life, and see the words different. See the words not complicated. I say, wow, how's this one changed my life? I know about this one, and I'm grateful with this school.
Our next person will be familiar to many of you. She was a server at Shadowwood Country Club and a scholarship recipient. Your donations help support her continuing studies and a career in helping others. Here's Morgan Wells to tell her story.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan, and as some of you may know, I used to work at Shadowwood as a server, so I had the great pleasure of getting to know most of you personally. In 2018, I was awarded a scholarship from the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation as I finished my undergrad studies at Florida Gulf Coast University for social work. I truly can't even begin to describe my appreciation for the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation and all the members who donate to it. With the help from you and the Charitable Foundation, I was able to graduate with my bachelor's almost debt-free. This year, I began my master's at Florida State University for social work and was awarded another scholarship from the foundation. I am also currently working full-time as a social worker in a skilled nursing facility, which does keep me very busy, especially during these times. With the COVID-19 pandemic that is still happening today, many things are transitioning to being virtual, just like this event is. So even though you may not be able to see in person how you are contributing to the successes of others, I want you to know that you truly are impacting people's lives and making a difference in our community. My goal is to graduate with my master's in 2022 to eventually earn my clinical license and work with individuals who have dementia and their families who are affected by it. Without your generous donations, I would not be where I am today. To be able to pursue these goals so that one day I can help others just as you all have helped me. So I thank you for all that you do and hope that you continue to stay safe and healthy.
I know I stand in line until you think you have the time to spend an evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. And then afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two. And then I go and spoil it up by saying something stupid like I love you. I can see it in your eyes that you despise the same old lies you were the night before. I know it's just a line to you, for me it's true, it never seemed so right before. Every day to find some clever lines to say to make the meaning come through. And then I think I'll wait until the evening gets late and I'm alone with you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and oh the night's so blue. And then I go and spoil it up by saying something stupid like I love you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and oh the night's so blue. And then I go and spoil it out by saying something stupid like I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I've watched this next video many times, and each time felt happy for her and thankful for all our donors that helped make her success possible. Here's Rosie.
My name is Rosalba, also known as Rosie. I've been in New Horizons program since kindergarten, I've been in it since 14 years. I think New Horizons to me is a family. I believe it's family because, you know, they help each other, and my mentors became part of an important life in my life. I'm so happy I graduated. I'm the first one in the family who graduate, and you know, and my mom's really happy that I made it, because I know many others dropped out of nowhere, or they're like, oh, school was too much work, you know. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna be them. I know I want to continue on. You know, God has a plan for me, and you know, it's gonna go through tough times. And now I made it, and now I'm going to college. And you know, I'm thankful for every mentors, every volunteer that helped me and guide me. You know, I'm glad that they knew that I was gonna become someone bigger, and I'm very, very glad that they impacted my life too.
If there ever was a feel-good moment, this video is it. When you watch, it'll make you feel so good about how you helped save the life of a little girl you've never met till now. Here's Petrona's story as told by her mother.
Yo soy de Guatemala. Mi nombre es Juana Pascual. Cualalón. Esta es mi nena, ella se llama Petrona. Yo vine a mostrar los papeles que me dieron en el hospital y lo mostré con la Sara y miró ella qué enfermedad tiene Petrona. Ahora ella ya camina, antes no caminaba, ahora ya camina, grita, brinca, pues ya está aprendiendo de hablar. Yo no lo voy a olvidar este favor, esta ayuda que me dieron. Yo sé que yo no lo voy a pagar con ellos, pero Dios se lo va a multiplicar. Estoy muy agradecida al Ejército de Salvación por la ayuda que me dieron. Que Dios les bendiga.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone in the lamplight. The withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. Memory alone in the moonlight. I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. Every street lamp, it seems to beat a fatalistic warning. Someone mutters, and a street lamp gutters, and soon it will be morning. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin. Burnt out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of the morning, the street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning. Touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with my memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. Look, a new day has begun.
Oh, thank you very, very much. Appreciate that.
Barbara. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, you'll turn it back, sir. At least I didn't fake it. Sir, I guess I didn't make it. But whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection, or the freckle on the nose of life's complexion, the cinder or the shiny apple of its eye, I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can die once, right, sir? Ooh, love is juicy, juicy, and you see, I gotta have my bite, sir. Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Don't bring around a cloud of rain on my parade. I'm gonna live and live now. Get what I want, I know how. One row for the whole shebang. One throw, that bell will go clank. Eye on the target and wham. One shot, one gunshot, and bam! Here, look at me, world. Here I am. I'll march my band out. I'll beat my drum. And if I'm fanned out, you'll turn it back, sir. At least I didn't fake it. Sir, I guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Nobody, no, nobody, it's gonna rain on my parade.
The next person needs absolutely no introduction. Lexi Cooper worked at Shadowwood Country Club for 3 years, driving one of the beverage carts, and besides dispensing libations and snacks, her personality and smile always made every golfer's day better. The scholarship your donations funded made a very positive impact on her life. Here's her story.
Hello, my Shadowwood community. For those of you who I haven't yet had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Lexi Cooper. I'm a Florida Gulf Coast University graduate and a fellow Shadowwood employee. I worked at Shadowwood as one of the beverage cart girls for 3 seasons while working towards obtaining my bachelor's degree at FGCU. I must say how honored I am to have been selected as a recipient of the 2019 Shadowwood Charitable Foundation Scholarship. The scholarship meant so much to me because it truly helped lessen the financial burden that came along with continuing my education. For those of you who don't personally know me, I grew up in a single-parent household with limited income and support. Fortunately, that never stopped my mom from doing everything she could to provide me with a stable foundation that aided me in achieving my personal and educational goals. My mother's continuous strength and dedication is what taught me to work hard and push through obstacles that life throws your way. During my years attending FGCU, I worked part-time, attended classes full-time, and participated in FGCU athletics as a cheerleader. At times I felt overwhelmed and exhausted, but thanks to the help from some very important people, I was able to push myself to not only accomplish my educational goals, but exceed my goals for personal and professional growth. I graduated this past August 2020 with my bachelor's degree in communication. I have recently accepted a job offer from Cedar Quest Medical Wellness Center, where I hope to succeed in the marketing and business management aspects of the business. I am very thankful for all those opportunities that I have been given. A personal goal of mine is to give back to others in the future, as many of you selflessly did for me. With all that is uncertain in the world right now, one thing that is my thankfulness for the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation. This foundation scholarship aided me in completing my college education by reducing my out-of-pocket expenses. allowing me to focus on my studies and participate in extracurricular activities. Many are dealing with financial struggles, especially during this pandemic. I can only imagine how thankful this year's scholarship recipients will be for your support and kindness during a very difficult time in history. I want to thank those involved once again for their kindness and generosity. You lessen the financial burden and stress on my mother and I tremendously. Thank you to those who have invested in my future as well. Our community is lucky to have people like you who value the importance of education. You are making a difference to each and every recipient and their families and loved ones. I know this because I am one of them.
Next is the story of a former Navy veteran and Seabee who fell on hard times after leaving the military. In this video, he tells how important one of our charities that you help fund brought he and his family back to a safe and successful place. Here's Brian with his story.
Hi, my name is Brian Wicca. I'm a recipient from some gracious givings from an organization called Hearts and Homes for Veterans here in Southwest Florida. Some of the things I wanted to talk about today is what that organization did for my family when I was in a time of need. That organization reached out to me and was able to deliver to me much needed respite from a moral, financial, and physical position. And I don't think I'm able to convey in words what that was able to do for my family. It helped me bridge a gap to where I was able to get into another home here in Cape Coral, to where I was able to get myself to find a job to deliver my family stability, and where I was able to end up purchasing this home that you see me sitting in front of today. It helped me get on my feet, and it was just a much needed ladder to climb to success. Their ability to help me be able to achieve that, will never be able to thank that organization, and I'll forever eternally be indebted to that organization going forward. I would strongly recommend anybody to want to get involved with that organization, from a donating of their time, of their services, and definitely any financial aid that you might want to give them, by all means.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer. When we lose our way, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce che tunta
I pray we'll find your light
nel cuore resterà,
and hold it in our heart
a ricordarci che
when stars go out each night.
l'Eterno still sei. Nella mia preghiera,
Let this be our prayer.
quando sarò c'è,
When shadows fill our day,
needs to find a place.
guide us with your grace.
Give us faith so we'll be safe.
Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e di speranza. Oh, your love,
every child.
Just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace.
Give us faith
So we'll be saved. Hela Fedeke, I chase I know. Sento che ci salvi.
Oftentimes, a charity provides food, clothing, and shelter, and Cafe of Life does this each and every day. But here's an example of a medical need where Cafe of Life stepped up and saved the day. This is Bradley's story.
My name is Bradley Brooks. I'm homeless. The Cafe of Life helps me out with food and all kinds of stuff, clothing, stuff like that. And I wanted to focus on January 14th, 2020. I had a hernia. The Cafe of Life provided a doctor at their Rosemary location where they feed at. And through that, 8 months later, I did get a major hernia operation, which was successful, at Cape Coral Hospital, January 14th, 2020. So that's huge. They did every step of everything for me. Yadi handled all my phone calls, my mails, urgent stuff, which there was a lot of urgent stuff involved, so there was a lot of seriousness involved. Jeff, the director, handled my bus fares up there. That was a huge deal going from Bonita to Cape Coral because it took forever. It was a lot, it was like 6 hours. It was a lot of money in fares. So I would say that, and a year before that, I hurt my back in May of 2018, and things went really downhill for me. And if it wouldn't be for Cafe of Life, I'd be in really bad shape. So
Our foundation has grown every year thanks to the generosity of you, the Shadowwood community. That record of continuous growth has allowed us to expand the number of charities we support and add scholarship awards. Here's 2 of our donors explaining why.
Hello, I'm Bill McBain, and this is my wife, Diane. Soon we'll be starting our 7th season in beautiful Shadowwood. It's been a great ride with the most wonderful friends ever.
From the beginning, we were very impressed with the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation. It was transparent, run and vetted totally by our own residents who volunteered their time, and best of all, every one of the 10 charities serves the communities around us.
We all give to our own churches, schools, etc., but being a Shadowwood Foundation donor helps those in our own backyard.
We have continued to support the foundation year after year when we saw how much it helped those in need in our area, and when we discovered this heartwarming piece. There's an educational scholarship fund. It helps Shadowwood Club and HOA employees and their children. To hear the recipients express their deep gratitude is a gift in itself.
Meeting even more Shadowwood people through the fundraising events, the golf tournaments, raffles, live and silent auctions have all added to the joy of giving.
Philanthropy plays a particularly essential role this year during these most challenging times.
We are grateful for the opportunity to support these great causes and hope that you will too.
Thanks so much.
Give 'em the old razzle-dazzle, razzle-dazzle 'em. Give 'em an act with lots of flashiness, and the reaction will be passionate. Give 'em the old hocus-pocus, bead and feather 'em. 'Cause how can they see with sequins in their eyes? What if your hinges all are rusting? What if, in fact, you're just disgusting? Razzle dazzle on, and they'll never catch wise. Give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle on. Back in the days of old Methuselah, everybody loves the big bamboozler. Give 'em the old three-ring circus, stun and stagger 'em. And when you're in trouble, go into your dance. And though you are stiffer than a girder, they'll let you get away with murder. Razzle dazzle 'em, and you've got a romance. Give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle 'em. Give 'em an act that's unassailable. They'll wait a year till you're available. Give 'em the old double whammy, daze and dizzy 'em. Show 'em the first-rate sorcerer you are. 'Cause long as you keep them way off balance, how can they spot you got no talents? Razzle dazzle 'em, razzle dazzle 'em, and they'll make you a star. From Chicago, I love that show. Well, we're gonna feature Billy on the saxophone next.
The only thing better than one donor video is a second. Elliot Sirotto, a longtime Shadowwood resident, speaks to how and why he is an annual donor. And as always, He makes a lot of sense. Take a listen.
Hi, my name is Elliot Sirota, and my wife Judy and I have been living in Shadowwood since 1999, or 21 years. Like all of us, we have our favorite charities. However, back in 2012, when discussing with Bill Lentz how to maximize our charitable dollars to a 90% level in giving, Bill took it upon himself with Chet Hobart to move it forward and launch the Shadowwood Charitable Foundation, which is a 501c3 corporation. In the community, we are or will be faced with retired minimum distributions at 70.5, which leads to things like QCDs, or qualified charitable distributions. They all maximize out for us and the charity. Knowing that the funds are going to be to the needy in our community is very gratifying. And last year, giving 4 additional scholarships was a further benefit given to the people, and the appreciation and compassion from the recipients was heartwarming. This year, in addition to the 10 charities that we contribute to, we may see first responder COVID requests. And with the generous giving of last year's $1 million, we will continue to support those community charities that serve us. And basically what it comes down to is, because of the giving at Shadowwood, we should go by the motto of "We are Shadowwood proud," because we've all come together for the good of the needy in our area. Thank you. Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed our program. 2020 has been a very challenging year for so many people. The pandemic has affected all of us, but has been especially debilitating to our neighbors in need. Our charities have already requested $1 million to help those who depend on them for 2021. So we're asking your help in supporting our efforts by making a donation tonight. By clicking on the Donate Now button, you can also write a check and send it to our address on the website. In the past, you've been very generous and given donations. What we're asking tonight is that you supersize it, because the need is great. The Shadowwood community can make a huge impact in helping our neighbors in need get through these terrible times, at the same time giving them hope for a better future. Please, please take the time to make a donation. If you have any questions regarding the foundation, you can log into our website for information about us, our charities, how to volunteer, and an email address to contact us. We hope you've enjoyed our very first virtual event. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Ma il mio mistero è inchiuso in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no, sulla tua bocca lo dirò, quando la luce splenderà. ed il mio bacio sciogliere il silenzio che ti fa mia. All'alba vincerò. Y'all are very sweet. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of y'all. Appreciate that. That's life. That's what the people say. Riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change my tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on people's dreams, but I don't let it get me down, 'cause this big old world keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a queen. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life, and I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just won't buy it. But if nothing's happening come next July, well, I'm not gonna roll myself up in no big ball and die. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a queen. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life, and I can't deny it. Oh, I thought of quitting, but my heart just won't buy it. And if nothing's shaking come next July, well, I'm not gonna roll myself up in no big ball and die. I'm not gonna sit in my room full of pity and cry. I'm gonna pick myself up, dust myself off, and give it one more try. Thank you very much. That was Barry Manilow's version of that. Okay. I need another drink. We're at the 15-minute mark here, I think. We're close. Okay. Almost there. Bless your heart. Actually, I know I really do appreciate this, because most of the time we're doing dinner dances and no one's paying attention. So it's actually kind of really nice to have people actually paying attention.
It's a little bit of pressure, though, I have to be honest. I'm not used to it. Okay. And I have to say, it is a little easier to sing in air conditioning, but it's not as gorgeous as this. This is absolutely amazing. Okay, so dear, what is the, let's see, okay.
I love this show. I love this show. Next song coming up. It's by Freddie Mercury of Queen, and it was his last song that he sung. He was dying of AIDS, and he downed vodka. We mentioned vodka earlier. He downed some vodka and sang it, and that was his final song that he recorded in the studio. We're going to do the Celine Dion version, I believe.
Yeah, just give me a second. What is that? Hopefully. No. Sorry. I am sorry. Oh, it's so embarrassing. That may be, but. And really, I did my due diligence. I probably drank 2 gallons of water today. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so pretend like, okay, they need a place to cut it in and edit it in. The show must go on.
Empty spaces, what are we living for? Abandoned places, I guess we know the score. On and on. Does anybody know what we are looking for? Another hero, another mindless crime behind the curtain. In the pantomime, hold the line. Does anybody want to take it anymore? The show must go on. The show must go on. Ooh, inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. Whatever happens, I leave it all to chance. Another heartache, another failed romance. On and on. Does anybody know what we are living for? I guess I'm learning I must be warmer now. I'll soon be turning round the corner now. Outside the dawn is breaking, but inside in the dark I'm aching to be free. The show must go on. The show must go on. Ooh, inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. Yeah. My soul is painted like the wings of butterflies. Fairy tales from yesterday will grow but never die. I can fly, my friends. The show must go on. The show must go on. I am faced with a grin. I'm never giving in. On with the show.
Appreciate that so very much. Well, this next song, it's been a crazy 8 months or 7 months or however long it's been, has it not? 2020, what a wild year. Every day you watch the news. So this song was written in 2016, and it has become one of my favorites. It was inspired by a very famous Martin Luther King Jr. quote, and it was, a lot of people have done this song. You probably might not have ever heard this, but it's called Love is the Golden Rule. Babies are crying, people are dying, violence is the law of the land. This world's in a shake-up, it's time we wake up and answer to a higher command. Fighting and fussing, screaming and cussing, never solved a single thing. Come, let us reason, and let's start believing. It's time for us to make a change. Whoa, we must find a way to love one another and stop the hate that breaks us in two. We must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Whoa, whoa, oh, love is the golden rule. Whoa, whoa, oh, love is the golden rule. You see it your way, I see it my way. What if we both could agree that there's a solution, a love revolution that starts and ends with you and me? Oh, we must find a way to love one another and stop the hate that breaks us in two. We must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Whoa, oh, oh, love is the golden rule. Whoa, oh, oh, love is the golden rule. God, help us find a way to love one another. Love is the golden rule. We've got to learn to live as sisters and brothers. Love is the golden rule. So stop the fighting and fussing, the screaming and cussing. Love is the golden rule. Because our world's in a shake-up, it's time that we wake up. Love is the golden rule. Appreciate that. That would be helpful if we all remembered that. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I
but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. My darling, you. Bittersweet memories, that is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye, please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need, and I will always love you. I will always love you. I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of, and I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love. And I will always love you. 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 Darling, I love you. Oh, I'll always love you. Well, Shadowwood, thank you so very much for having us here. Wherever you go, wherever you may wander in your life, surely you know I always want to be there, holding your hands and being there to catch you when you fall, seeing you through in everything you do. Let me be there in your morning, let me be there in your nights. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. Let me take two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. Watching you grow and going through the changes in your life. Surely you know I always want to be there. Whenever you feel you need a friend to lean on, here I am. Whenever you call, you know I'll be there. Let me be there in your morning. Let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. Let me take you through that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. Everybody, let me be there in your morning. Let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. And let me take you through that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. All I ask you is let me be there. Well, Shadowwood, we certainly thank you for letting us be here tonight in this beautiful setting. We have one more, and this is an audience participation song as well. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us pledge allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Let's hear those beautiful voices. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Shadowwood. Thank you so, so very much. Lovely evening.